Hello, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information comes from the smart device application Today in History. What happened today in history?
Historical calendar.
And the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else we gather throughout the show, and any links to Omni Coalition itself, check the description. Anyway, I am Xander.
I am me.
And today is Sun's Day, also known as Sunday, April 24th, 2022. Dang, we're starting way back there today, aren't we?
Yes. 1479 BC, 3,500 years ago. Thutmose III ascends to the throne of Egypt, although power effectively shifts to Hatshepsut. According to the long chronology of the 18th dynasty.
Dang. Moving on up into 1183 BC, or 3,204 years ago, the traditional reckoning of the fall of Troy, marking the end of the legendary Trojan War, given by chief librarian of the Library of Alexandria, Eratosthenes, among others. Alright, and the start of Homer's famous Odyssey. Here we go.
Yes, and a huge time, yes, and I mean huge, 1547, Battle of Muldenberg, Duke of Alba, commander in Spanish imperial forces of Charles I of Spain, defeats the troops of the Camalduc League.
Nice. 1558, Mary, Queen of Scots, married the Dauphin of France, Francois, at Notre Dame de Paris.
Married a dolphin?
Apparently. Dauphin? How do you pronounce Dauphin?
Dolphin.
Dolphin?
Dolphin. Fuck you, dolphin, and fuck you, fuck you whale, and fuck you, dolphin.
Fuck, are you a chicken, and fuck, are you a cow? See, at least now they're killing animals that we kill, like normal people. Oh, South Park. How you have fallen so far.
You fallen so far because it was unpredictable. Like he couldn't really, he couldn't really push it because it's all fucking tumbled up.
Yeah, well, they just fell because they didn't want to get canceled. Look what happened to The Simpsons with Apu. They got all butthurt about a stereotype. Anyway, moving on up into 1704, the first regular newspaper in British colonial America, the Boston Newsletter, was published. Are you there?
Yeah.
1793?
1793, French revolutionary John Paul Margaret is acquitted by the Revolutionary Tribunal of charges brought by the Bourguignon of Paris.
7 years later, in 1800, or 222 years ago, the United States Library of Congress was established when President John Adams signed legislation to appropriate $5,000 to purchase, quote, such books as may be necessary for the use of Congress, end quote. Nice. I have a book in the Library of Congress.
Okay. 1837. The Great Fire in Surat City of India caused more than 500 deaths and destruction of more than 9,000 houses.
Jeez. What is that? 40 years later, in 1877, during the Russo-Turkish War, Russian Empire declared war on the Ottoman Empire. So the start of the Russo-Turkish War.
Okay, 1885. American sharpshooter Annie Oakley is hired by Nate Salisbury to be part of the Buffalo Bill Wild West.
Now I want a Salisbury steak. That sounds pretty good with some mushrooms on it. 1913, the Woolworth Building, a skyscraper in New York City, was opened. Was that like the first skyscraper, or like what's so special about the Woolworth Building? Let me look that up real quick. Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, well, I've seen videos about this. There's something about this. Yeah, that's man, there's a huge apartment like in the top spire. That's intense. Anyway, moving up into 1914, the Frank Hertz experiment, a pillar of quantum mechanics, was presented to the German Physical Society. Interesting.
Hmm. Also, 1916, Easter Rising, Irish rebels led by Patrick Hearst and James Connolly launched an uprising in Dublin against British rule and proclaimed an Irish republic.
I I fully support a free Ireland. Um, the Frank Hertz experiment was the first electrical measurement to clearly show the quantum nature of atoms and thus transformed our understanding of the world. It was presented on April 24th, 1914 to the German Physical Society in a paper by James Frank and Gustav Hertz. I'm adding the Woolworth Building and what I just read to the underbar. While I do, would you mind taking the next article, good sir?
Yeah. Next article. 1918, World War One first take-to-take combat during the Second Battle of Villers Brentano. 3 British Mark IVs meet 3 German A7V.
I think those are the large box tanks. Let me check those out. Yeah, it was. So yeah, like that was one of the first tank-on-tank engagements. The A7V was a heavy tank introduced by Germany in 1918 during World War I. 100 chassis were ordered in early 1917, 10 to be finished as fighting vehicles with armored bodies, and the remainder as Überdalwagen cargo carriers. The number to be armored was later increased to 20. So it wasn't a lot of them, but whatever you need to do to get wars done. 4 years later, 1922, just 100 years ago, the first segment of the Imperial Wireless chain providing wireless telegraphy between Layfield in Oakenfordshire, England, and Cairo, Egypt, came into operation. Wow, England to Egypt. A direct connection with a telegraph. That is insane. 100 years ago. And look at where we've come now. Just 100 years.
Yeah. Also, 1926. The Treaty of Berlin is signed. Germany and the Soviet Union each pledged neutrality in the event of an attack on the other by a third party for the next 5 years.
Yeah. We missed one, though. In 1924, Thorvald Stauning became Premier of Denmark. It was his first term. Oh. And then in 1932, Benny Rothman led the mass trespass of Kinder Scouts, leading to substantial legal reforms in the United Kingdom. Oh, this one, this
Yeah,
one,
1933.
this one I kind of support, actually.
1933, Nazi Germany begins its persecution of Jehovah's Witnesses by shutting down the Watchtower Society office in Mecklenburg. I'm sorry, I can't support it.
Why can't you support it?
Still, shutting down any form of religion is kind of bad.
Well, I agree with you there, but it stops these bastards from coming and knocking on your door every day.
No, I don't.
Well,
This just means they're going to be doing it more illegally now.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm on the fence about it now. Yeah. Anyway, moving on up into 1944, during World War II, the SBS launched a raid against the garrison of Santorini in Greece. SBS, what's the SBS? Let me look it up real quick. The SBS, Special Boat Service. It was a Special Forces unit of the United Kingdom's Royal Navy. The SBS can trace its origins back to the Second World War when the Army Special Boats Section was formed in 1940. So they're still going on. The motto is by strength and guile. That's a pretty cool motto.
Also, 1953, Winston Churchill is knighted by Queen Elizabeth II.
Dang. Dude, that's the same one that's alive today. She knighted Winston Churchill. Wow. 2 years later, in 1955, the Bandung Conference ended, in which 29 non-aligned nations of Asia and Africa finished a meeting that condemned colonialism, racism, and the Cold War. Nice.
Wow. 1957, the Suez Crisis. The Suez Canal is reopened following the introduction of UNEF peacekeepers to the region. Okay.
I think UNEF stands for United Nations Expeditionary Forces. No,
Yeah.
United Nations Emergency Force. So, yeah, the first United Nations Emergency Force was established by the UN General Assembly to secure the end to the Suez Crisis with Resolution 1001 on November 7th in 1956. I'm going to add that to the underbar as well. But before I do, I'm going to take us up into 1963, in which the marriage of Princess Alexandria of Kent to Angus Ogilvy at Westminster Abbey in London occurred. Alright.
Okay, good. Also, in 1965, civil war breaks out in the Dominican Republic when Colonel Francisco Camargo overthrows the triumvirate that has been in power since the coup d'etat against Juan Bosch.
Ah, good. The people taking their country back. It's a little something the whole world can do. 2 years later, in 1967, cosmonaut Vladimir Komarov died in Soyuz 1 when its parachute failed to open. He was the first human to die during a space mission. Dang.
1970, the Gambia becomes a republic within the Commonwealth of Nations with Rwanda Jahara as its first president.
Well, no first president name can ever beat Kanan Banana. I'm sorry. That's the de facto best name ever. But also in 1970, China launches Dongfeng Hong 1, becoming the fifth nation to put an object into orbit using its own booster.
Yeah, cool. In 1980, 8 English servicemen die in Operation Eagle Claw as they attempt to end the Iran hostage crisis.
Yeah. You mean U.S.? Did you say English? Because it sounded like it.
I say 8 U.S. servicemen.
Oh, okay. I misheard you then. Anyway, 10 years later in 1990, Grenard Island, Scotland was officially declared free of the anthrax disease after 48 years of quarantine. Oh my god, dude.
Okay. Yeah. Also in 1930, also in 1990, the STS-31 Hubble Space Telescope is launched from the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Nice. And it had like an imperfection in its lens or something, so then they had to go in and give it a pair of glasses later. Moving on up into 1993, an IRA, or Irish Republican Army, bomb devastated the Bishopsgate area of London.
Damn. Also, 1996, in the United States, the Anti-Terrorism and Efficient Death Penalty Act of 1996 is passed into law.
Let me look that up real quick. Let's see here. Well, I'm not gonna. Well, I'll go to the wiki real quick. Let's see here. Provisions providing restitution/assistance for victims of terrorism, designation of foreign terrorist organizations and prohibitions of funding, removal or exclusion of alien terrorists and modifications of asylum procedures, restrictions on nuclear, biological, or chemical weapons, and there's several more on the list. I'm going to add this to the underbar for anyone interested in this specific law. I'm going to move us up to 2004, in which the United States lifted economic sanctions imposed on Libya 18 years prior as a reward for its cooperation in eliminating weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, sure. No, that's because it didn't have a Rothschild central bank. So, what happened in 2005?
2005, Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger is inaugurated as the 248th 265th Pope of the Catholic Church, taking the name of Pope Benedict XVI.
Yep. And he didn't last that long.
Yep.
So let's
No,
see.
he didn't.
How long did he last? Pope Benedict XVI. Let me look that up. Pope Benedict XVI. How long? No, as Pope. He wasn't 93 years as Pope. But.
That's
Well,
his age. I think.
yeah. Well, whatever. I'm not going to hunt that down. I don't care. Moving on up into 2016, King Gyanendra of Nepal gave into the demands of protesters and restored the parliament that he dissolved in 2002. Dang, it took 4 years for that. Jeez.
Yep. 2007, Iceland announces that Norway will shutter the defense of Iceland during peacetime.
Yeah, nice. 2011, just 11 years ago, WikiLeaks started publishing the Guantanamo Bay Files leak. Nice.
Yep.
And I saw something yesterday from Tim Pool, I think. Julian Assange is he might get extradited. And actually, no, it wasn't Julian Assange. I think it was Salty Cracker. It wasn't my brain. It wasn't what's his face. Tim Pool saying that it was Salty Cracker. Julian Assange is in trouble. So anyway, sorry. What happened in 2013?
2013, violence in Banju County, Kazar Prefecture of China. Xinjiang result in death of 21 people.
Jeez. Also in 2013, a building collapsed near Dhaka, Bangladesh, causing deaths of 1,129 people and the injury of 2,500 others. Jesus. Wow.
2015, Armenian commemorates the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide by the Ottoman Empire.
Mm-hmm. And Turkey is the modern-day label for the Ottoman Empire. So.
Yeah.
3 years later, in 2018, U.S. President Donald Trump hosts his first state dinner for visiting French President Emmanuel Macron.
Macron, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one dinner people were fucking bitching, complaining about, like, wow, shut the fuck up.
Was that the one where he had the 2 scoops of ice cream when everybody else had 1?
Yeah, it's like, no one, like, shut the fuck up. Like, y'all complain about that, but what if this man was to eat the ice cream by shoving it up his ass? Y'all would have a problem with that? Like, eat ice cream like a normal person. Honestly, if someone was to eat ice cream by shoving it up their ass, oh my god, that would be...
That would be a sight that I don't want to bear witness to. So, but I'm going to have some ice cream after the show, actually. Now I want some ice cream.
You better not shove it up your ass.
I'm not. What else happened in 2018?
Also in 2018, Golden State Killer... Oh, no. 2018, also in 2018, suffragist Millet Fawcett is the first woman to have a statue erected in Parliament Square in London, England. That is awesome.
Nice. Let me look it up. Suffragist Millicent Fawcett.
Yeah, she's a suffragist. I mean, she's the real women's rights person.
Yeah.
She's the OG of rights.
The statue is holding a what appears to be a sheet, or like some kind of cloth that says "Courage calls to courage everywhere." That's an interesting quote. Right. Also in 2018, streaming music services overtake worldwide sales of CDs and vinyl for the first time, according to IFPI. What is?
Yes, like IFPI? Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud.
IFPI stands for International Federation of the Phonographic Industry. I read that originally as a different word. I was like, what?
Yeah. But now they're bringing back old formats like vinyl. People want to be nostalgic and bring back vinyl.
Yeah. Well, vinyl's making a comeback, actually, like the past 5 some odd years.
I know.
Yeah.
I said that.
Oh, sorry. moving on
Also,
up. In
2008,
go ahead.
Golden State killer suspect Joseph D'Angelo is arrested and charged with 8 murders after being identified through genealogy websites. Wow.
Whoa! Wow, that's wild. In 2021, just last year, at least 82 COVID-19 patients died in a fire at Ibn Khatib Hospital in Baghdad, Iraq, with more than 100 injured. Dang. So, like, 82 COVID-19 patients died in a fire, but they died of COVID, right? The fire had COVID. Why don't you take this last article here, Sohan?
Yeah. In 2021, Joe Biden becomes the first president to officially recognize killing of Armenians in the Ottoman Empire during World War II as genocide.
Yeah, I don't know why that's even an article. Like, who cares what Joe Biden says? Anyway, before we move into Burst and Destiny, articles intrigue you today?
A lot. Golden State Killer, streaming services, Millet Faucet, Armenian Genocide, WikiLeaks, Pope Benedict XVI, Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act of 1996, the Hubble Space Telescope.
Pardon me, don't forget about the end of the Trojan War.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm going back.
I'm sorry.
And the Trojan War.
Yep.
Also, Tutmos considered an international throne, although, according to law, it got shipped to somebody else.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of interesting things happened today. Oh yeah, Queen Mary of Scots marrying a dolphin. You know?
Yeah, dolphins.
Yeah.
Our neighbors in Japan won't like that.
Oh yeah, and the U.S. Library of Congress
There you go.
being established. And a lot of stuff has happened today. Wow. Bless you. Anyway, jumping on into bursts, why don't you start us off here in 1086?
Yep. 1086, Ramiro the Second of Aragon.
1533, William I of Orange, founding father of the Netherlands.
1743, Edmund Cartwright, English clergyman and engineer who invented the power loom. Ooh,
Yeah, let me look up the power loom real quick. Power loom. Power loom is a mechanized loom and was one of the key developments in the industrialization of weaving during the early Industrial Revolution. The first power loom was... What?
Okay, I think I know what that is.
Yeah. The first power loom was designed in 1786 by Edmund Cartwright and first built that same year. Really interesting. Let's see here, Mike. There we go. Okay. Let's see, who else was born on this date? In 1860, we have Queen Maru, the last queen of Tahiti.
Oh God, Tahiti. Okay. In 1880, Gideon Soundback, Swedish American engineer and businessman who developed the zipper.
Yep. Thank you.
Remember, if you ever if you accidentally zip something on your pants, blame this fucker.
Yeah. Make sure you have everything in the pants before you zip. In 1882...
Or in your jacket, or your backpack, or anything.
That too. Yeah, you don't want to zip a nip or anything. In 1882, Hugh Dowding, first Baron Dowding, was born on this date. He was a Scottish English air marshal.
In 1903, Jose Antonio Primo de Rivera, Spanish lawyer and politician who founded the Falange.
What is the Phalange?
Falange.
Phalangism? Maybe the first Phalange has been only I don't think this is the right. All of a sudden, everything started being in Spanish. I don't think this is the right thing.
Phalangium was the political ideology of two parties in Spain that were known as the Phalange. Namely, the first Phalange, Español de la Juntas de Oficina Nacional.
Yeah, it started going off in Spanish, but I think this is the same thing, so I think he's a religious guy.
Hold up.
What? Okay.
Hey, you go ahead. I'm gonna try to translate it.
Okay. 1942, Barbara Streisand, a U.S. singer, actress, activist, and producer. And 1954, we have Mumia Abu-Jamal, a U.S. journalist, activist, and convicted murderer.
All right, got it. Ooh, who's a convicted murderer?
Yeah, there's this guy. He was a journalist, activist, and then he was a convicted murderer. It's just like, hold up.
Oh, okay.
It's just like that went way off.
Okay, Español de Juntas de Oficina Nacional de Escala is the Spanish of the Unionist National Offensive Board.
Interesting. Why don't you take these last two bursts here?
I will. In 1955, John A. Mole Jr., Dutch businessman who co-founded Edamol.
What is?
And 1964, Cedric the Entertainer, U.S. comedian, actor, and producer.
Yep. That was supposed to be a comma, not a hyphen. Yeah, Cedric the Entertainer. I've heard that name.
Cedric Antonio Kyles.
Ah. Antonio Kyles.
Yeah, I am not calling this man. I'm calling him Cedric the Entertainer because I am not calling this man Cedric Antonio Kyles. Oh, I'll be laughing.
Huh.
I'm glad they pretty much called him Cedric the Entertainer because the people would be laughing before he even shows up on the stage because of his fucking name.
Yeah. By the way, Endemol BV was a Dutch-based media company that produced and distributed multi-platform entertainment content. It was founded in 1994, and its current owner is now the Banijay Group. So now they're like part of an umbrella corporation. Anyway, moving on into deaths. Starting us off in the year 624, we have Melitius, a saint and archbishop of Canterbury.
Also, 1149, Patronville de Camille, Bessie of Bonferrol.
Yep. Doing a pretty significant time jump here. In 1731, we have Daniel Defoe, an English journalist, novelist, and spy.
Yeah. In 1779, Eleazar Wheelock, American minister and academic who founded Dartmouth College.
Nice. 1984, Rafael Perez y Perez died on the States. He was a Spanish author.
Yes. 1997, Eugene Stoner, U.S. engineer who designed the AR-15 rifle.
Nice. A stoner who designed a rifle. That sounds like me. Although I have yet to design a rifle. 2004, Estee Lauder, a U.S. businesswoman who co-founded Estee Lauder Companies.
2014, Hans Holland, Austrian architect who decided Haus House.
Let me look that up. Haas House.
Haus House sounds like a fucking Ramstein song.
Hey. Oh, this one. Yeah, this is an interesting building. Really intriguing. A lot of different architectural styles on it. With a balcony on the top, or a landing, or whatever it is. Last but not least, in 2015, Władysław Bartoszewski died on the States. He was a Polish journalist and politician who was a Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs. And that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar for any link that you may be interested in, which also includes
TV on Twitch.
And as mentioned before, everything Omni Coalition. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day between 12 p.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific, 12 noon, 3 p.m. Why is my brain not working today? That time is also
2 to 5 Central.
Yep. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I am me.
And you are you. Until you see us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Let's go, Brandon.